To look sharp for our wedding, I dragged my fiancée, Victoria Fairchild, to get gym memberships with me. She grumbled about it, but her actions spoke louder than words. She was at the gym every single day. In just 2 short months, her waistline had become tight and defined, her figure more toned and sculpted than ever. She snuggled into my arms, resting her chin on my shoulder, her voice a proud, breathless whisper. "How do I look, hubby?" I felt her warm, soft arms wrap around my waist, and my heart swelled with sweetness. But later, while she was showering, I glanced at her phone. The screen suddenly lit up. "Congratulations, you have unlocked the 5 kilometers. Couples run badge. Keep up the great work." The smile on my face instantly froze. I had a last-minute project at work today and pulled an all-nighter, even eating dinner at my desk. And when she messaged me this afternoon, she said she was going to the gym alone. So who was this couple? The sound of the shower stopped. I quickly put the phone back, my clumsy hands shifting it by a few millimeters. Victoria walked out, drying her hair, and wrapped her arms around me from behind, planting a peck on my cheek. "Hubby, what are you thinking about?" Her gaze, however, casually swept over the phone on the nightstand. The next second, her arms tightened around me, and her tone was a casual, probing question. "Did you touch my phone just now?" I remembered when we first got together, she would hand me her phone, without a second thought, telling me to look at whatever I wanted. Now we were about to get married, and she was starting to guard it from me. I suppressed the uneasy feeling in my gut, turned my head, and forced a look of frank confusion onto my face. "Huh? We're about to get married. Why would I be looking at your phone?" I pointed to the jacket that had fallen on the floor. "Maybe you bumped it when you tossed your clothes? Victoria, why are you making such a big deal out of it?" She stared at me for 2 seconds, then the wariness in her face relaxed, replaced by an indulgent smile. "Look at you, so tired these last few days, you're completely drained. Here, this is for you." She pulled out a Zippo lighter with a mechanical design and matter-of-factly pushed it into my hand. I felt a tightness in my chest. In the past, whenever I mentioned little gadgets like this, she would just dismiss them as childish and a waste of money, saying she didn't understand why men liked them. Why would she suddenly buy me something like this? I clutched the lighter, my fingertips trembling slightly. Didn't you say you found it weird that I liked these things?" She froze for a moment, then her smile grew even more tender. "Oh, that was just me being silly and immature before. Lately at the gym, I've been overhearing the guys chat. They said all men like these. I thought this new design would suit you. We're getting married after all. I have to learn how to take care of you, how to dote on you, right?" Her explanation was ironclad. But if it was really for me, how could she not remember? I had told her more than once that my favorite brand was Zorro, not Zippo. Victoria's heart had strayed. Combined with her religious dedication to the gym, that couple was at the gym. I lowered my head to hide the sting in my eyes and feigned a moved tone. "Thank you, darling. It's getting late. Let's get some rest. We both have work tomorrow." Clutching her phone, I lay with my back to her, sleepless all night. The next day, I left work early and went straight to that gym. I found an inconspicuous corner to sit in, my eyes locked on the entrance to the weight area. Before long, 2 familiar figures emerged, Victoria and a man, laughing and talking as they walked out. It was her personal trainer, Ethan Cross. Ethan wore a tight-fitting workout tank top that perfectly outlined his physique of solid, flowing muscle radiating strength. He twisted open a bottle of water and held it to Victoria's lips. Victoria didn't even raise a hand to take it, simply tilting her head back and drinking straight from the bottle as he held it. The gesture was so intimate, it looked as if they were about to kiss. A sharp pain pierced my heart, but just as Victoria lifted her head, Ethan sneered. "Victoria, when are you finally going to break up with Sincere Dawson?" Chapter 2. I was thunderstruck. A look of undisguised contempt crossed Ethan's lips. "I really don't get it. The guy's built like a beanpole, Can't lift a thing. A typical scrawny twig. How can you even stand to touch him? The thought of you having to look at that weakling frame of his every day makes me sick." His tone was harsh, possessive, as he wrapped an arm around Victoria and demanded answers. "We're the childhood sweethearts here. We fought our way from that little backwater town to this city together, went through hell to get where we are today. And look at us now. I'm a secret lover, hidden away from the light, watching you go out with him every day, having to pretend I don't even know you." Victoria's gaze shifted, and she lowered her voice. "Just be patient a little longer. If it weren't for his sister helping me get my residency papers for the city, do you think I'd be willing to touch him? As soon as we're married and I get my papers, once I'm on my feet, I'll kick him to the curb and marry you." My mind went blank with a deafening roar. I stood frozen in place. So it wasn't a sudden change of heart. From the very beginning, all those whispers of "I love you" in my arms, all those bowls of hot soup, it was all an act. I was just her ticket to residency in the city. I could barely breathe. Ethan kept adding fuel to the fire. "I don't care, the thought of you marrying him makes me want to die. How about this? You get him down to the gym right now. Let me vent some of this frustration on him." A flicker of hesitation crossed Victoria's face. I don't think that's a good idea. What if things go south before the wedding? How will I get my residency papers? And how will I get you to stay here too?" Ethan's face darkened, and he immediately pressed her. "Victoria, didn't you say it was just for the papers? Have you had a change of heart? Have you fallen for that pretty boy?" He took a menacing step closer. "And don't forget, we weren't careful last time in your bedroom. You've missed your period for a month and a half. You might already be carrying my child. They even had a child on the way." My vision swam. Victoria's expression changed instantly. The next second, with a look of complete surrender, she pulled out her phone and expertly sent me a message. Okay, whatever you say. Just don't be angry. Hubby, are you off work yet? It's such a beautiful day, why not come for a workout? Afterward, I'll take you to that new Japanese place you love." Her tone was incredibly intimate, as if her world revolved around me, as if she had done nothing to wrong me. "I don't think so. I'm not feeling well today," I replied coldly, but she persisted with a second message. "What's wrong, Sincere? Didn't you say you wanted to get in shape to look better in your suit at the wedding? You don't want to work out. Does that mean you don't want to marry me anymore?" Looking at her hypocritical words, a cold calm washed over me. The locks at home hadn't been changed yet. All her things were still in my apartment. Now wasn't the right time for a confrontation. I took a deep breath and sent her a one-word reply. "Fine." Then I quickly sent a message to my sister. After that, I straightened my clothes and took a side path to the main entrance, pretending I had just arrived. The moment I appeared, Victoria intimately slung an arm around my shoulder and led me to Ethan. "Sincere, this is our gold medal trainer, Ethan Cross. He's amazing. If he trains you, I guarantee you'll be in great shape in no time." I looked at her, and she looked back at me with sincerity in her eyes. Just like 5 years ago when our eyes met across a crowd, and she ran toward me with such eagerness. But it was never for me. I swallowed my disgust and let Ethan lead me to the boxing area. "A man needs to have some strength. I'll teach you how to box." Ethan grinned maliciously as he put gloves on my hands. "Your fiancé is watching. You'd better perform well." His so-called teaching was just using me as a human punching bag. Fists rained down on my pads, the immense impact forcing me back step after step, my arms going numb. Ethan loomed over me condescendingly, mocking me in front of everyone. "Hey, Mr. Dawson, look at you. Your punches are so weak. Got any power in there? No core strength at all. And this frame of yours, are you a scrawny twig? A gust of wind would knock you over with a weakling build like that. What woman would feel safe with you? Mr. Dawson, you're getting married at the end of the month, right? Don't let your wife be the one carrying you over the threshold. That would be a huge embarrassment. Be careful, or someone might just steal your bride. and you wouldn't even be able to fight back." The other members he was training all burst out laughing, thoughtlessly grinding a man's pride into the dust. I took a deep breath, lifted my head, and looked at Victoria with bloodshot eyes. "Victoria Fairchild, you are my fiancée, and you're just going to stand there and let him talk to me like this?" Chapter 3. Victoria was taken aback by my question. Her eyes darted away, avoiding my gaze, and she mumbled vaguely, "Sincere, Coach Cross was recommended by a friend. He's a professional when it comes to fitness. He's only doing this so you'll look sharp and handsome in your suit on our wedding day. It's all for your own good. Just bear with it. You'll see results soon." For my own good? If I hadn't personally heard their conversation, I might have actually believed her. I suddenly remembered the way her friends looked at me when she introduced me, calling me their future brother-in-law, and those smiles they couldn't quite suppress. At the time, I thought it was kindness. I thought that with so many people blessing us, Victoria and I were destined for a long, happy future. I was so blissfully happy for so long. Looking back now, they must have been struggling to hold back their laughter at my stupidity. The feeling was suffocating. Seeing my silence, Ethan grew even more arrogant, his voice sharper. "Can't even hold a proper stance. What a waste of my time, Victoria. Come over here. Let's demonstrate the correct way to generate force for him." He gestured for Victoria to come over. Without a moment's hesitation, Victoria walked over to him. Right in front of my eyes, they embraced as if no one else was there. Ethan wrapped his arms around her from behind, his hands roaming over her slender waist. I had held Victoria like that before, but the moment I touched her, she had unconsciously tensed up. "Hubby, your frame, it's a little too bony," she had said then, before laughing it off. "But I like you just the way you are. It's a lean, beautiful aesthetic." I was thrilled at the time, playfully insisting on holding her longer. She said okay. She had forced herself to endure it. It must have been so hard for her. Ethan, in their intimate pose, shot me a provocative look. "See that? You'd better learn. A body that weak can't protect your woman." My phone vibrated gently. "I'm almost there." Seeing the message from my sister, I couldn't take it anymore. I got up from the floor, pulled off the boxing gloves and threw them aside, staring coldly at Ethan. "I am the client. I paid for a membership and hired a personal trainer. Do you think I'm here to listen to your personal attacks? Is this how you talk to the person who pays your salary? Is this how you do business? Get your boss in here right now." Ethan, not expecting me to defy him in public, scrambled for an excuse. "Mr. Dawson, I was just trying to motivate you. It's reverse psychology, don't you get it?" Victoria, seeing things were getting out of hand, quickly chimed in. "That's right, Sincere. Coach Cross means well. It's not as bad as you think." "Motivate me?" I laughed out loud. "Stop with the mind games. Don't use me as your emotional punching bag to vent your frustrations. Sorry, but this gentleman is done. Taking your crap seeing a crowd gathering, Ethan quickly adopted the demeanor of a wronged man. "Mr. Dawson, I'm the gold medal trainer here. How can you slander me like this?" I was genuinely trying to help you. Victoria also grabbed my hand, her voice urgent. "Sincere, why are you being so passive-aggressive today? It makes us look so classless. You should apologize to Coach Cross." I thought of how Victoria had silently allowed Ethan to humiliate me, and I felt that beneath her beautiful skin she was rotten to the core. This woman, I was done with her. I violently shook her hand off and looked her straight in the eye. "Victoria Fairchild, did you really think I didn't know about the dirty secrets between you two?" Chapter 4. The anger on Victoria's face instantly solidified. She stared at me blankly, a flash of panic in her eyes. "Sincere, what do you mean?" She was still trying to bluff her way out of it. "There's nothing going on between me and Coach Cross. Don't talk nonsense." Ethan immediately backed her up, puffing out his chest and glaring at me like a tough guy. "Mr. Dawson, I know I was a bit strict with you during training, but you can't just make things up to slander my reputation. Victoria and I are just a normal trainer and client. We don't even know each other outside of the gym." "You don't know each other?" I had to laugh at his brazen, black-as-white lies. "You don't know each other, but you go on a run together and unlock a couple's badge? You don't know each other, but your training sessions end up in bed?" His expression faltered at that, but he held his ground, insisting, "Mr. Dawson, how can you make such baseless accusations? I was just a little tough on you, and because you're upset, you're making up these lies to get back at me. You're trying to ruin my reputation. If it were just me, I might let it slide. But Victoria is your fiancée. How can you drag your own fiancée through the mud just to get revenge on me?" Looking at his self-righteous act, I lost all desire to even argue with him. I just informed him coldly I'll be requesting a full refund for those tens of thousands of dollars in personal training sessions. As for the breach of contract penalty, you can figure out how to pay that yourself. With that, I turned to leave without giving him another glance. Sincere Victoria lunged forward, grabbing my wrist with a death grip. Her palm was slick with cold sweat, and her voice trembled. "Make yourself clear, what do you mean? Have you misunderstood something?" I tried to shake my hand free, but couldn't. I could only look at her with sarcasm. "What do I mean? Don't you know perfectly well what I mean?" She looked at me with a pained expression, her voice softening even more. "I came to the gym, I worked my butt off every day. Wasn't it all for our wedding? Sincere, is it because there are too many men at the gym? Are you upset about that? I'll cancel my membership right now. We can switch, find a gym that's women only, okay? Please don't be angry. Is there some misunderstanding between us? Whatever it is, we can talk it out. Just don't leave me like this, okay?" She looked so sincere, so heartbroken, as if she were truly just a girl whose entire world was me, now terrified of being abandoned, waiting for me to turn back. But it wasn't me she couldn't bear to lose, it was what I could give her, the residency papers that would let her stay in the city. Let go, I used all my strength and violently flung her hand away. "Victoria, don't touch me with your filthy hands." My clear rejection seemed to finally strike fear into her. She tried to grab me again, a note of pleading in her voice. "Sincere, whatever the misunderstanding is, please, just calm down and let me explain it. I'm begging you." Just as her hand was about to touch me again, a sharp, angry voice cut through the air from the entrance. "Victoria Fairchild, you get your hands off him." Chapter 5. My sister, Isabel Dawson, had finally arrived. She stormed in like a whirlwind and, without a word, slapped Victoria hard across the face. The sharp crack echoed in the spacious gym. "Bitch, you dare touch my brother." Isabel spat the words through gritted teeth, then grabbed my arm and pulled me away from that disgusting place without a backward glance. Sitting in my sister's familiar white Porsche, I was enveloped by her signature cedarwood perfume. I gave a bitter smile, my voice hoarse. "Sis, this hurts so much. 5 years, I really thought she loved me. I thought people's eyes couldn't lie. She always looked so happy when she looked at me, like she wanted to keep me in her sights forever. How could it all be fake? I was about to get married. She played me for a fool." My sister drove steadily with one hand, using the other to gently ruffle my hair in a comforting gesture. Her voice was laced with both heartache and fury. "Don't be scared. Sis is here. I had someone go to your place and throw out every single thing that belongs to that woman. I called and canceled the wedding venue and the officiant. The invitations have been dealt with too. I also had a locksmith go over and change the locks to the latest model. She can't even get in the door now." Listening to Isabel's clear-headed, methodical arrangements, I just stared blankly out the window. A heavy stone lodged in my heart. Seeing me like this, my sister muttered, "Damn them." Then she sighed, slowing the car down. "Sincere, if you're hurting, talk about it. Don't bottle it up. It kills me to see you like this. As for her residency papers, I've already put a stop to it. And this isn't over. She dared to play our family like this? I'll make damn sure she can't survive in this city." I nodded, but my throat felt like it had been scraped with sandpaper, and I couldn't get a single word out. My sister didn't say anything more. She just pulled the car over, took something out of the glove compartment, and held it out to me. It was a velvet box. Inside, nestled on the lining, was a Zorro lighter. Its design was minimalist and elegant, gleaming with a subtle luster. I had told her Zorro was my favorite. Victoria had fobbed me off with a Zippo. Only my sister remembered what I truly liked. We were supposed to be together forever, but that lighter and my marriage were all for another man. Moisture slowly welled in my eyes. I couldn't hold it back any longer. I clutched the lighter in my palm, rested my head against the car window, and let out a choked sob. Chapter 6. By the time we got to my apartment building, it was already dark. I followed my sister with red-rimmed eyes. As we passed the community dumpsters, I immediately spotted several large trash bags. Peeking out from a corner of one bag was one of Victoria's silk nightgowns. Just yesterday I had ironed it for her. Now, it was lying in a pile of garbage, just like my feelings for her, which she had used and discarded so casually. Seeing me frozen in place, my sister asked softly, "What are you thinking?" I shook my head, sniffled, and managed a weak smile. "Nothing, sis. You should head back. I'll be fine on my own." "No." My sister insisted on crowding into the elevator with me. "Look at the state you're in. I won't be at ease until I see you safely inside." Back in the apartment, I sat numbly on the sofa. My sister poured me a cup of hot water to warm my hands. I sniffled, and just as I took the cup, the doorbell rang. Sincere opened the door. Sincere, it was Victoria's voice. "Sincere, what on earth is going on? Why did you change the locks? My fingerprint won't work." She continued to shout desperately from outside the door. "She just won't go away. You wait here. I'll go deal with that ungrateful snake." My sister's face darkened, and she started toward the door in her high heels, but I shook my head and held her back by the arm. "Sis, let me." This was my relationship. I'll be the one to end it. My sister looked at the calm resolve in my eyes, and after a moment of hesitation, she stepped back and stood behind me. When I opened the door, Victoria's face flashed with elation, but when she saw the ice-cold expression on Isabel's face behind me, that joy froze instantly. Still, she forced a smile and held up the bag she was carrying. "Sincere, look, I bought you your favorite cream puffs. I was wrong this afternoon. I was just trying to use Coach Cross's words to motivate you to work out more. I never thought it would upset you so much. I really know I was wrong. I shouldn't have let someone talk to you like that. But I swear there's nothing going on between him and me." She was trying to bluff her way through it. My sister was furious, pointing a finger at her. "Bullshit motivate him? Is that what you call motivation? Letting your lover use my brother as a punching bag and humiliate him by calling him a scrawny twig? Why didn't you say anything then?" She took a step forward, ready to get physical, but I stopped her again. I just looked at Victoria calmly, even with a hint of a smile. "Victoria, don't take me for an idiot." Chapter 7. The expression on Victoria's face completely froze. "Sincere, you—" I cut her off. "Victoria, don't lie to me. I know everything. You and Ethan Cross are childhood sweethearts. From the same small town, aren't you? Victoria, stop hounding me. I have no interest in unknowingly becoming the other man in your decade-long love story." Her face turned deathly pale, but she bit her lips, still trying to argue. I can explain fine. Go ahead." I smiled at her, waiting for her explanation. Under the combined stare of me and Isabel, she steeled herself and slowly began. That was all from back home. Sincere, I was young then, naive. I didn't know any better. I couldn't tell what love was. We were just together because we'd known each other for so long. Now I understand. It was nothing more than two people in a strange city, huddling together. For warmth and companionship, she looked at me desperately, trying to make me believe her. Then I came to the city and met you, and I realized a man's smile could be so pure that the image of you quietly reading would flash through my mind day and night. That's when I knew I had fallen in love with you. I just felt guilty for holding Ethan back for so long. It was truly just a sense of obligation, trying to help him out. She repeated herself over and over. To me, he's really just like a little brother. The person I truly love is you. Sincere, a brother? I finally let out a laugh. The kind of brother you have to sleep with? The kind of brother who holds your waist from behind and teaches you moves hand in hand while you just stand there? What is he? Your lover boy brother? That was a mistake I made when I was immature. Sincere, She was still trying to argue, but I cut her off. Don't, Victoria. Instead of wasting your time telling me all this, you should probably get to a hospital. You might already be pregnant with his child. At those words, Victoria's face went completely white. She finally understood. I knew everything. Without another glance at her, I turned to close the door. Sincere, she knew that if she let me go now, it was really over between us. She cried out my name, her face pale, and tried to push her way into my apartment. But a sharp slap from my sister sent her stumbling back onto the doormat. Get out, boom, the heavy security door shut out the world. Worried about my state, my sister ended up staying the night in my guest room. The next morning, as she was leaving for work, she looked at me with concern. Sincere, if that bitch comes to bother you again, call me immediately. I'll be right over. Okay, I know. I smiled and pushed her out the door. Go on, get to work. Don't be late. My sister stepped into the elevator, her eyes still full of worry. The moment the doors closed, the apartment fell silent. The smile on my face could no longer hold. It crumbled, piece by piece. I still couldn't quite accept it. How could I have been so stupid, so easily believing the lies of a con artist? Her eyes were such good liars, it would take an ocean of tears to wash them clean. Just then, my doorbell rang again. My heart leaped into my throat. Chapter 8. Holding my breath, I quietly double-bolted the door before turning on the video intercom. Standing outside was, unbelievably, Ethan Cross. He seemed to know I was watching. He raised his fist and started pounding on the door, yelling into the intercom. Sincere Dawson, you damn pretty boy, open this door. Why do you get to be born with everything? Residency in the city, a good family, a good job, and what about us? We kill ourselves working our whole lives, and we can't even reach your starting line. His voice was coarse, filled with resentment and bitterness. After a moment of yelling, he suddenly let out a cold laugh, thick with a sick, twisted pride. But maybe this is for the best. Now that you know everything, there's no way you'll marry Victoria. That means Victoria is all mine. I couldn't listen anymore. I pressed the talk button. Ethan, if you like picking women out of the trash heap, that's your business. But don't come to my doorstep to act like a madman. My words seemed to hit a nerve. He exploded with rage. What the hell are you talking about? You're just jealous. Jealous that Victoria and I have known each other for over 10 years. That I'm the one she loves. He paused and yanked open his collar, revealing an old silver ring on a chain around his neck. See this? This was from Victoria's father. He said it was to be passed down to his future son-in-law. You dated her for 5 years, and I bet you haven't even met her parents more than a couple of times. Seeing no reaction from me, he leaned provocatively closer. To the peephole, his voice dropping to a low, threatening whisper. And besides, she's pregnant with my child. Everyone back in our hometown knows she's my woman. What have you got to compete with me? You were just a tool she was going to throw away after getting her residency papers. She only ever loved me. Listening to him, I felt only a sense of pity and absurdity. Only a weak, pathetic man who can't find his own self-worth would parade a woman around like a trophy. Oh, well, in that case, I wish you two a long and happy life together. Hope you have a child soon. I have zero interest in marrying into some backwater family. My words cut him to the quick, and he launched into a tirade of foul-mouthed insults. I truly couldn't understand it. We were both deceived by the same woman, so why did he harbor so much malice toward me? But since he was now threatening my personal safety, I saw no reason to be polite. I calmly pressed the save button, storing the entire video feed from the security monitor. I was just about to call building security to handle him, but then the elevator doors chimed open. It was Victoria. Again. She was holding a box of cream puffs and clutching a brand new Zorro lighter gift box, my favorite kind. When she saw Ethan blocking my doorway, she froze. "Ethan, what are you doing here?" Chapter 9. The moment Ethan saw Victoria, the ferocious look on his face vanished. His eyes reddened as he adopted the posture of a wounded man and walked to her side. "Victoria, I came to apologize. I wanted him to forgive us, but he looks down on me. He said we're from the sticks." Watching him play the victim in front of a woman, I felt a wave of nausea. Ethan reached for the things in Victoria's hands, while trying to take her arm. "Victoria, let's go. Don't waste your time on this spineless coward. Your engagement is definitely off anyway. A passive-aggressive guy like him isn't worth it," but this time, Victoria didn't move. She even took an instinctive step back, avoiding Ethan's touch. She knew I was watching. Ethan's hand, holding the sleeve of her coat, froze in midair. He was stunned, but I smiled. Through the door, I spoke into the intercom. "Victoria, weren't you just begging for my forgiveness yesterday? Fine. I'll give you a chance, me or him. Who do you choose?" Ethan immediately roared. "Sincere Dawson, you bastard, stop trying to drive a wedge between us. My 10-year history with Victoria is nothing you can compare to." But Victoria was silent. She didn't look at Ethan. She just stared at my front door, as if trying to see me through the solid wood. I added more fuel to the fire. "Don't forget where you come from. No connections, no background, and not talented enough to make anyone important take a second look at you. Only my sister can get you those residency papers for the city you've been dreaming of." Victoria's face twisted in agony. "Sincere, we were together for 5 years. 5 years of our lives. Please don't do this to me, please." Victoria Ethan cried her name in disbelief, a betrayed animal clawing at his heart as he gripped her sleeve. But I had lost all patience. I barked out my command. "Choose." Victoria's body trembled violently. She was silent for a full 20 seconds, an eternity. Then, slowly, one by one, she pried Ethan's fingers from her sleeve. Ethan stared at her, dumbfounded, as if he didn't recognize the woman in front of him, just as I had when I saw them embraced. A faint glimmer of hope rekindled in Victoria's eyes. Facing the door, she asked me in a humbling voice, "Sincere, if I break it off with him, will you be able to forgive me?" I laughed, so hard that tears almost came to my eyes. "You're not worthy. As for that question, you should probably go ask Ethan." Victoria froze, confused. "What do you mean?" "Sincere, you're going back on your word? You promised me a chance." She was frantic now, her voice cracking. "You promised to get my residency papers if we got married. I've already told everyone back home I was about to be a resident of the city. How am I supposed to face them now?" Before she could finish, Ethan, standing beside her, completely exploded. "Victoria Fairchild, you bitch. You're the one who owes me an explanation. You're fucking pregnant with my child, and you're still trying to get back together with this pretty boy? What the hell do you take me for? You shameless woman, you liar," right there in my hallway. They started a blatant, ugly fight, screaming and tearing at each other. In the heat of the argument, Ethan lost control and shoved Victoria hard. Caught off guard, Victoria fell backward, her abdomen slamming hard against the sharp corner of the doorframe. She let out a pained grunt, her face instantly turning ashen. A smear of crimson began to seep out from under the hem of her skirt. She reached out a trembling hand, her face a mask of terror and despair, and looked at Ethan. "Ethan, Help me, my baby. Chapter 10. Looking at Victoria pleading for help, Ethan's only thought was whether he'd face criminal charges. His face was a mask of pure panic. He stammered and took 2 steps back, his words a jumbled mess. It wasn't my fault. You fell on your own. Then, like the coward he was, he turned and ran without a second glance. Watching this absurd scene unfold, I finally opened the door and dialed 911. Victoria lay on the cold floor, looking up at me, tears mixing with blood in a pathetic mess. She sobbed, asking me, "Sincere Dawson, you never planned on forgiving me, did you? You wanted to punish me by getting rid of this baby from the start, didn't you? Well, it's gone now. Are you satisfied? Am I clean now? Can you forgive me?" Looking at her like this, I sighed. "Victoria, the moment you let Ethan humiliate me, you should have known we were over. The only reason I'm calling an ambulance for you now is as my one good deed for the day. After all, I'm not like you and Ethan. I can't just watch someone die in front of me, that's all." She fell silent. The ambulance arrived quickly, not long after, probably as revenge for Ethan abandoning her. Victoria leaked everything about his violent assault and home-wrecking along with his disgusting chat logs to their gym's social media accounts. It caused a massive uproar. Bowing to public pressure, the gym swiftly fired Ethan. Ethan lost his job and was now saddled with a reputation for violence. Enraged, he retaliated by exposing Victoria's scheme of using an engagement to secure residency. Victoria was outed as a manipulative social climber. She was not only sidelined at her company, but also saw her reputation destroyed throughout her industry. A spectacular scandal ended in mutual destruction. As for me, I walked into a boxing gym. I poured all my anger, my pain, and my sweat into the heavy bag. Every punch felt like a farewell to that foolish past. Every drop of sweat made me feel a strength and lightness I had never known. My body, under the daily assault, started to build muscle, to feel powerful. 2 months later, Victoria's company finally completed her termination process. Having lost her foothold in the city, she had no choice but to pack her bags and slink back to her hometown to get married. Before she left, she cornered me outside the boxing gym I frequented, looking lost and broken. When I took off my gloves, wiping the sweat from my face as I walked out, she stared, completely stunned. She couldn't believe it. The man who had been completely transformed after leaving her, confident and full of life, was worlds apart from the drained, pale woman she had become after her miscarriage. "Sincere," she murmured my name, her bloodshot eyes slowly filling with tears. "For the past 2 months, every time I close my eyes, all I see is your face. I've thought a lot. I finally realized how stupid I was. I shouldn't have deceived you for residency papers. If I had just stood by you every single time, maybe things wouldn't have." Her throat caught, her voice thick with what sounded like genuine sincerity. But sincerity, it can change in a heartbeat. Maybe she was sincere when she loved Ethan, and maybe she was sincere when she loved me. But I wasn't willing to gamble on her future, nor did I want to walk it with her anymore. I took off my boxing gloves, wiped the sweat from my jaw, and looked at her gently. "Victoria, it's all in the past." She stared, stunned, as a tear finally traced a path down her cheek. But I continued, "No one's life depends on someone else, and no one is obligated to be a part of another person's journey. Even though you lied to me, for a little while at least, the kindness you faked really did help me get through some dark nights, and letting it all go made me realize something. On my own, I can become this much better. As for you," I paused, giving her one last look, "I don't need you anymore. Goodbye, Victoria. Goodbye."